Hello, how's everyone doing? I think I have a little bit of a problem here. Let's see what we're doing here. Whoopsie. Uh, let's see, fit to the screen. Hey, there we go. I am so sorry about that. So, this is the fun with YouTube. You never know what it's going to do because it was perfect. And then I went live and, well, Streamlabs and all this live software is a little crazy. But this is Jefferson Davis over at blindphotography.us, also jeffersondavis.us. I hope everyone's having a good day. I just wanted to check in and give you guys an update on what's going on and what's coming, hopefully for you guys and for me in the future. So we moved. I could drag this out for an hour, but I'm not going to talk to you for an hour. Nobody has that kind of time. Some people do, but most of us don't. So we were living in Payson, Arizona, a beautiful area. I'm legally blind, so it doesn't matter how beautiful it is to me. I mean, it's really nice people. But the issue with it, we were at 5,000 feet, so it get hot. Maybe 100 degrees in the summer, but not very dry, so it wasn't that bad. The issue with Payson in Arizona in general, like California, is cost of housing. Now, before we moved there in 2024, middle of 2024, June, I looked, I'm sorry about that, eBay. I looked at projections for housing and where the prices were supposed to go, and the prices were supposed to go down, even in Arizona, even where we live, but they didn't. And what it failed to take into context, or what I failed to really research on my part, so it was partly my fault, or mostly my fault, or all my fault. I'm a man, so it's all my fault. Was two things. There's two factors to the cost of housing going up in Arizona. One, all the Californians and Oregonos and people from Washington State, nice people, most of them. Some of them are not so nice. Coming to Arizona, driving, artificially inflating the prices of the houses that used to be within reach for the average couple or the average family, but now are not. A lot of people renting, as we were doing when we were living in Arizona. Factor number two, we lived in Payson. We would love to stay there, but unfortunately, because of that, and people from California and people from different places coming there, and Arizona, everybody's from somewhere else, so it's a neat place, But also, what I did not take into context or did not understand is that Payson is surrounded by the Tonto National Forest. So people can ask whatever insane prices they want and potentially get it. The market is not a normal market up there where we lived, and we didn't want to live in the valley. Nothing against it other than the crime, but we couldn't afford to live in a really nice area in the valley, and I didn't want to live in 118 degrees in the summer, so I prefer the little bit cooler climate, which we moved to somewhere that's not as cool, but it's still not bad. So we started looking elsewhere, and we tried all over Arizona. We looked everywhere, out in the middle of nowhere, Rim Rock. You're still looking at $300,000 to $350,000 for a house. So my wife has family in Oklahoma, and I am Cherokee, so I have some link here as well. So we started looking at Oklahoma, and it's very affordable here. It's not as affordable as it was because a lot of people are moving here. They figured out that it's affordable here. Gas is cheap. Gas yesterday was $1.97. Some places might have been as far down as $1.95 in the town we're in. we're in Norman, which is a moderately sized town. It's not a small town, 130 over 130,000 people, so pretty good sized town. It's also a university town. If you ever heard of Oklahoma University, and I don't mind telling you the town I live or the city I live in because it's a big city. Um, but we started looking, and even though this area is somewhat higher than like Noble, which is south of here, which we also liked, but the problem was her family. We're getting older, and the closer we can be to family, at least some family, distant family, the better, the safer we are. Some people who are elderly want to get away from, or middle aged, want to get away from family. I love my family, but we couldn't afford to go back to South Carolina, where I'm originally from, if we wanted to, because everybody from the Northeast has moved there. Um, so, and there comes my wife. Okay, maybe not. Well, anyway, she is usually working right now, but she may be on break. I don't know. Anyway, so we, with some help, my wife had to get some money out. Let's say we managed to buy a house, but um, it's a little bit of a fixer upper. But it was move in ready, but it's an older house. We've had to do some stuff, and we're gonna have to do more stuff to it. But it does have a new roof, so that's good. But as far as photography is concerned, I haven't taken a single picture in months. But I finally got all my cameras unpacked, and I got all of my accessories unpacked, which have been packed up for 2 years. They were finally unpacked and breathing oxygen again after being in a bin for 2 years outside. Um, but they're good, and I've got a ton of flashes I'm going to sell, some winders I'm going to sell. So I got some stuff I got to sell, but we're still unpacking, and this is a process, and it takes a while. My wife has a lot of craft. She does scrapbooking and Bible journaling. Her YouTube is Dina's Creative Studio. You can check her out. She does some really good stuff, and she's trying to get all her stuff unpacked for that. And I'm trying to help a little bit, put stuff together, shelves and stuff. But my sciatica's been driving me crazy. But otherwise, we're doing good. I plan on getting out maybe this week, depending on how my leg's doing, and doing some photography, walking around, shooting some prints. I don't some film. I don't have a digital camera anymore, and for now that's okay. But it'll give me a good excuse to shoot film. So I don't need an excuse. But if I'm going to shoot anything, it's going to have to be film right now. So no digital whatsoever, and it's first time in probably 20 years I've not had over 20 years I've not had a digital as well as film. Because sometimes film's expensive, and when film goes up, I use digital a little more. But I prefer film, to be honest with you, any day of the week. But anyway, I just wanted to update you guys if you're wondering what's going on with JD. So I also wanted to let you know that blindphotography.us was, when we started that over a year ago now, about 13 months ago, it was supposed to be to sell prints. But it also had a blog feature, so I blogged on there as well to try to get more traffic on the site. And I wrote a lot of posts about cameras and different stuff, different ideas, cheap stuff, good cameras you can get for quality cameras you can get for a good price, budget cameras. I'm all about a budget. So But unfortunately, the price went up, tripled. And the fact that I am legally blind did not curtail them from requesting the $300 that they requested. The thing about Squarespace and Squarespace site, yes, you can sell on there and they make it fairly easy. I wouldn't say it's super easy, but it's somewhat easy. It's a pain in the neck, but it's, you can do it. The issue is they charge you extra for everything. If you want to do on WordPress, if you write a blog post, it automatically sends it out in an email. You don't get charged extra for that. You don't get charged anything for WordPress. They have Jetpack has a bunch of stuff you can get, but you don't pay extra for that. There's a lot of stuff built into WordPress you don't have to pay for. It's open source, right? But with Squarespace, you have to pay for everything. If you want to do emails, whatever you want to do, you have to pay for it. So it's added cost, and I had not sold enough prints to keep the site going. I still have the name, and I'll keep the name. And right now, if you go to blindphotography.us, it'll take you over to jeffersondavis.us. So the name's still there. I may choose to do something with it at some point. I'm going to keep the name. But for now, it's just jeffersondavis.us. That's where I'm going to do all the updates and write articles and whatever, post about cameras and stuff and post film photographs and everything. I've got a pretty good setup here. I've got my a Mac and the PC for random stuff with a screen reader on it. The Mac's got built-in screen reader. And I have my scanner over here on another desk to the right, and then a little bit of empty space, and then to the right of that is my Brailler that I'm very grateful to have, and then my cameras and accessories, and then I have a cart full of cleaning stuff and batteries and such. And over here to my left is podcasting, my mixing board, and all that stuff. And one thing, and I would want to ask you guys, I thank you for listening in. If you would be interested, I want to get some blind people on the podcast and find out what they do for a living, because and talk about Braille and such, because it's a niche and not a lot of people are going to care to listen to that, but especially the Braille stuff. But Braille is extremely important. It's tactile communication. I know people who are blind and deaf, and it's the only way they can really communicate other than tactile sign language, which I don't know. So, like, I had a friend in Arizona that was blind and deaf, and the only way for me to talk to him was to write him a letter in Braille, and vice versa, because I don't know tactile sign language. So Braille is extremely important to the blind community, and I want to learn from other blind people what they do for a living. A lot of blind people are entrepreneurs, because it is getting very, very hard for blind people to get a job, because even people with degrees in our Juris Doctorate, lawyers, it's still hard to get a job in a law firm. And one of the biggest things, and Double Tap, a YouTube channel, it's two blind guys from England, really nice guys. They were talking about this last week, and everything, like the Braille displays and everything, is so expensive, and the JAWS for PC is so expensive that a lot of companies don't want to deal with it, or they can't afford to. Maybe it's a smaller firm, a smaller company, whatever. They can't afford to. And little cities and towns and stuff that want to hire somebody that's disabled, maybe they're a great person, they're a great personality, but they can't hire them because they can't afford the screen reader. They can't afford the Braille display, all the stuff that we need to do our jobs. So, um, a lot to think about there, and I would like to talk to other blind people in the blind community. If you know somebody, please reach out and let them know, because I'm going to start doing a podcast again, but get other people on here. We'll do Zoom or what have you and record it that way. But anyway, this is Jefferson Davis at jeffersondavis.us. I hope you guys have a great day and a great week, and I will see you on the next one. Good stuff's coming. Just bear with me.